will say, I was, when I was, which all this is a long way of saying, when I was reading about the ending that Clyde had wanted, yes, in theory, it would have been absolutely polarizing. But I think it would not have, at the same time, it wouldn't have taken away from the experience of the show, because everything we would have seen would have happened.
Maybe.
Just to clarify, because I guess...
See, that's the thing, I don't know. We don't know if that's true, because...
Well, okay, so just to explain to you, you didn't read the article. Basically, look, the original showrunner who did this season 1 through 4, the plan was to have the entire series basically be the reveal that Dexter was lying on an executioner's table about to be killed, and this was literally his life flashing before his eyes. And so, in that sense,
but my question is, at that point, up until what point do we see? Because there was only so much growth up until Clyde stepped away from the show for the character. And so if, and this is, again, it's all hypothetical, obviously, but if we, in the moments flashing before his eyes, included the fact that he realized he had human emotions, that he was capable of love, that he did love his sister, that he, Hannah or not, whatever, if he had all of those moments before he was killed for his crimes, perfect ending. Right. Because it's still tragic, but it's tragic in a different way, because he realized what he could have been. Right. And he's not being given the chance. But someone else is controlling that.
And also, this is something that, it was something when I read that I was like, wow, that would have been a fascinating thing, and it would have been appropriate, and it would have felt very, and it's fascinating.
But if he never got through those moments of growth, and it was just serial killer,
it's also one of those things where you just never know how it would have been executed, because he did leave so long ago. But it's something that, I'm kind of sad that didn't happen, because I think that would have been.
Well, it still could if they do a spin-off. Could be the ending later, after he's had all of these rocky ups and downs.
It's one of those things where, I've got no time right now, but I don't know, but I was saying, at some point I would like to go back and rewatch the entire series.
Didn't we talk about this already?
Yes, we said we were going to do it.
Once it comes out, it's not the series isn't out yet. The series.
But it's like, I own much of it on DVD at this point. I think I own...
Yeah, but I mean, like, the final season's not available.
No. But I think at this point I probably own all but maybe 4 on DVD, because, like, I bought the first, even though I'd get screeners, I still bought the first few, and then I got screeners. I'm like, I'm not going to buy it until the series comes out. But yeah, so I'm very curious, because this also could have gone in the last podcast, but it's appropriate to say now, is the final season didn't feel well paced. That always fascinates me when you know it's a final season. It's not like they got sprung on them at episode 10. Hey, guess what? It's a final year. They knew before they started filming that this was going to be the final year. So it's like, there's comments in the postmortems that, there wasn't really time to do this or do that.
There was time. They just didn't do it.
Exactly. It's like,
but
dude, if it was actually a priority, it's absolutely okay to say, you know what, this just was not a priority for us. Versus saying we just couldn't find the time for that. It's like, well, no, you could have. You had 12 episodes to do it.
Yeah, but that's the thing, they didn't want to do it, because once you introduce that whole Vogel thing, you have to see it through. Right. And there's not a whole lot of time at that point for Dexter as a character to worry about other things while he's focused on her and saving her and taking down the brain surgeon and whatever. Like, that's always been a show problem, but also indicative of the character. He can't balance. He's never had to. And so, to me, it's always been interesting how the show has kind of mirrored that, and I don't know how intentional it is, because it is through Dexter's eyes. So, not being able to balance, you could easily say, well, it's indicative of the character, or maybe it just was that.